for them to make the playoffs and then kind of contest for things, and we'll have to see. And I mean, it looks like we're going to be getting our way into Mirage, and like we said, this one is on paper looking pretty close to even in some degree here, but it's going to be really, really interesting to see how well a team like Lag is going to be able to play against the Party Astronauts. And in terms of the sides, it is going to be Party Astronauts on that CT side, so that's, in my opinion, that's going to be extra room for comfort. And I think for PA fans, they're going to be ecstatic.
Yeah, they'll be happy for it for sure. Get that CT economy rolling. It's a split from the CTs to crunch onto B. The read is absolutely perfect. It's now about hitting the shots for themselves. Bentley will not find anything. Van has not been cleared, but Fang will not find anything. Quick flank has already come into fruition. It is known, and Sixy still doesn't know about any of the contact within market, meaning this is going to be a very difficult retake for the Party Astronauts. Infinite will continue to slink forward with these dual Beretta. Sixy finds his first, and now here comes the Cavalry. Sixy with another. 3v2 available as OG Wizard. Experative, they double down. Experative will find a second for himself. Lag holds strong on that B post plant.
Yeah, and it's pretty scary too, because I mean, Sixy and Wolfie are the only guys that were able to find those kills. And Sixy, I thought maybe he was cooking up something a little bit there, but good post plants from Lag, just able to lock things down just a little bit more. But that's what you were talking about in the beginning, is like, we have to see how well Party Astronauts are going to be awake for this in the sense of their firepower. And we talked a lot about, players like Sixy that really can change things around for a team. So he kind of gave us a little bit of a quick glimpse of it maybe, but Party Astronauts will take that first round loss. They're going to fully buy up though. They're going to try to see if they can find their conversion round on here, which I do like. I think it was worth it. So this is going to be an interesting play for them to see how well they're going to hold things down, because you can kind of see it's kind of like a 1-3-1 essentially, leaving it with these players. Wolf is going to get spotted, and honestly, oh my god, he's going to be able to get this kill. Yes, he will. That's going to be a run and shooting one, but okay, it is a trade.
That'll be good for the side, but they're not able to really connect much beyond that. OG Wizard will find himself a very important frag. Infinite trying to get aggressive in the palace, seeing if he can catch off any straggling T's. And Nick will provide that opportunity, but Infinite does not commit to the duel. He'll slink on back to the A site. And now it's really up to Bentley, the snake in the grass, to try and find one, but they're watching him like an absolute hawk. Nyx will chime in, and it's just Infinite left up to find any bit of weaponry or a kill on the way out. And gets a dink. 2 dinks make that. But he's taken so much damage at this point that a flying Nyx with that MP9 and Nick on that AK-47 will shut it down. Forced by fails for PA, and Lag will look to claim themselves a third round after all is said and done.
Yeah, I don't know if I love that. To be honest, I love that stack idea. Like, I mean, you could see there was a couple players on the catwalk trying to get a little bit cheeky, but it felt like they were hesitant on the play they were making. So I don't know if Lag did something to kind of throw them off guard a little bit, but for a force round like that, I thought it just didn't look as convincing and a little bit more awkward for my taking, Paladin. I don't know if I'm the only person with this opinion.
Yeah, it's a ongoing topic that I don't feel like has a definitive answer just yet. Hold that thought 1 second. It's a mid crunch from Party Astronauts, and nothing really lands for them except Sixy's Deagle, and it'll only be Sixy's Deagle left up in this one, as all of his measly USP teammates have gone down. He's got another one teed up, but he hasn't been able to connect that final bullet. Still fighting, still trying to duel, and he's finally taken down. Weeza, it's extended, but he'll find it nonetheless. But yeah, I do feel as though I can see the downsides of that force buy on the CT side, but I don't know. I do feel like sometimes you get a healthier 4th round buy that you might not get if you buy in the 3rd. It's definitely a very interesting push-pull that I think will have to continue to develop as CS2 grows. But we're into the first buy round, and Wolfie's got an AWP.
Yeah, and this is always a big thing for Wolfie too, because I mean, I think, you know, we've talked a lot about him in the past about the consistency factor of what he can bring, because when he's on, and when he's not, he's not. So I mean, this is again, another little bit of a moment to see, will he be able to find an engagement in favor here for Party Astronauts, something they really do need, because there's been so much emphasis so far here today about OG Wizard and what is he able to bring to the table with the op when he's able to get it. But it is just going to be those 5 rifles from Leg, still kind of preserving the cash, even though they're winning things out. And even Party Astronauts, you know, putting a little bit more for Fang here to kind of watch onto window on a very passive angle, as well as kind of playing just that passive Colin as well. But even 60 now getting caught with some utility. So you can see Lag, they've done some good homework. Fang's actually going to get eaten alive here. So he gets plowed through into connector. So now this is an opening for Leg, and they're going to try to take this A site. So this is going to leave Wolfie and Infinite by themselves. Connection made. Well, Wolfie needs to stay alive, but man, oh man, he's not able to at all. All down to Infinite. Can he be able to lock it down? It's looking like he damn can. And now these M4s, they're starting to connect. The IGL gets something done, and PA, they're right back in it.
Yeah, Infinite, very aware of that jump up on a firebox, punishes Weeza straight away, and just stalls for long enough. As soon as he gets that sandwich kill, you're thinking this is round over. He can maneuver around the site safely. The player trying to wrap him on triple box is not able to live long enough because the jungle rotation is in. So PA do enough to hold on for dear life. It was a nice attempt from Lag to stream in through connect after finding an opening pick, but it's not to be this time around. Wolfie's sniper rifle does find the target, and on the other end, his counterpart OG Wizard has purchased his first sniper, and we'll get to witness the Ukrainian in action.
Man, and even Wolfie just got roasted alive on that molly too. So he wasn't even able to distinguish it. He didn't even try for it. So he took already half his health. It's already gone just based on that utility. So, ooh-wee. Party Astronauts, though, will have the man advantage. And Lag right now, again, just they're not even kind of toying anybody lurking. They're just going to commit the idea of these players together in this middle. But where do they want to go with this? And now Party Astronauts putting a little bit more presence on the side of stairs and, you know, the passive window once again. So they're not actually playing somebody in window, but this time it'll just be on the outskirts of it. And that is going to be Wolfie that's actually switched up his position. Previously, he was on that, you know, ticket. Beautiful shot from 60, just takes down Nick. So that's a really good start once again. So now we're starting to see some of those big influential players on Leg. They're starting to get picked apart a little bit here. They're starting to get pulled all around. And 60, he tries to shoot at the dead body, but it's going to be Nix that's able to take him out too.
Double-edged sword from 60. He'll get you 2 kills, but he will fall at the tail end. Would have loved to hold on to cat control, but 25 seconds left on the clock. Lag looking to punish, but weren't able to actually connect beyond that 1 kill. Finally, Experative is able to get out of the ramp. Finds himself a necessary frag. Benleet moves through his own smoke. Finds a back turn onto Nyx. And now, I mean, planting this bomb is just nigh impossible. OG Wizard's going to have to do it out in the open. He gets punished by Fang. And it's all up to Experative. Was able to find the entry, but will not be able to find the round. He does get a parting frag onto Benleet, but Fang will shut it all down. PA get themselves the 2nd round in a row, and that should end the Lag buys, meaning that PA look to even us up at 3s.
Yeah, and that was a really awkward position for, I think that was OG Wizard that was going for the plan too. I mean, time was depleting, right? It was under like 10 seconds kind of thing, but it was one of those situations where it kind of felt like, I almost kind of wondered if it was even worth the attempt, because they knew there was players that are going to be able to swing through connector on Cat. So just not a great situation, all things around here for any Lag fans, but now they're just going to get the pistols out. Wolfie will be able to find himself something. Oh, Fang, he's getting a little bit tested, but okay, yeah, this thing is just like a full cleanup, leaving with one little consolation maybe, but if these CTs are getting aggressive, Wolfie just wants to get the round over with, and damn, we're right back in a tie game.
Yeah, as expected, and this time they take minimal casualties, which is fantastic for that economy to build up. 60 will repurchase, no problem. And Lag are right back at it with the buy. It does feel like they're trying to keep a very simplified protocol set as far as their T side is concerned. But I think when you try to simplify it, that's where PA are reading into it very well. The pack is just not consistent enough to burst into these sites. got to add a little bit more pace if they want to catch PA off guard, and right now, they've certainly turned up the heat. Wolfie kicks open the smoke, finds his first pick onto Weeza, and opening 5v4 is everything that you can ask for the defense.
Yeah, I'm loving that we're seeing Wolfie, you know, again and again, he's able to find himself in some of these opening engagements, and it makes such a difference, right? I mean, we never stress it enough, because on the CT side, finding that first duel, you know, the opening, you know, kind of, you know, frag is so important, just because it puts you in a little bit more of that comfort, and it makes things even more problematic right now for the T side. So now these guys getting a little bit more desperate. Some of their teeth have been removed, and now it's OG's Wizard trying to make a big play, and he's able to find something, but at least Fang's able to find, you know, the trade back. So it's a 3-3. Players now getting themselves rotated through. They're going to just kind of split into connector. They're going to see what they're going to be able to find. Wolfie. Oh my god, he's able to get that shot on the left. It wasn't even the right guy.
And it works out nonetheless. 2v2 to ensue for Lag. How did they get this bomb down is a real question. One will have to stick it as the other watches, safeguards it. They're going to try to clear out CT together, and that allows for Fang to find one. 30 seconds still left on the clock, and there's still an opportunity for Experiment to move back to B. Does he read the flank? Yes, he does. 6C will fall. Huge 1v1 for Experative to win, and we found the rifler to lead Lag to the promised land. Experative is just head and shoulders in front right now for this T side.
Yeah, I mean, he's sitting himself at that 9-4, 154 ADR. He's looking real good right now. And I mean, you know, that's such a tough position for someone like 6C, because he was on the flank on the A ramp like that. I was kind of thinking, I was like, okay, surely he's going to swing a little bit more right, so he's covered. But at the same time, he was trying to see if that player was going to reaggress or if he had to go for the rotate. So it's a tough decision to make, and that, you know, quick of a decision. So unfortunately for the Party Astronauts, it does fall a little bit short. But in this round, a little bit of a mixed buy, in the sense of, you know, the 3 rifles with a deagle of 6C. MP9 here for Ben. He's going to be the one that's going to get tested. So these two guys with the weaker guns, they have to hold something true. And Ben trying everything he can, but he can't just seem to get any of the kills, but he inflicts some good damage onto Nick. So 1 HP remaining for him. Oh god, Wolfie. He's looking real clean on the X-ray, but then he just gets a little bit of a tenderizer. But is this going to be enough, though? Because, I mean, again, there's still double smokes with a flash. No kit available for these CTs, and yeah, I think they're going to call it. And honestly, Paladin, I feel like, yes, it can be maybe called a boring or a lame decision, but I think it's the right one.
Oh, it's 100% the right decision. I mean, in this situation, they go for heavy mid control. They try to see if they can go toe-to-toe with what Lag is sending out. And unfortunately for them, they just aren't able to respond to the issue at hand. It's a hard read from Lag. They just go straight into that B bomb site. Ben Leet, 6C, the only players with lesser weaponry, and it is exactly what they were looking for on that T side. They get themselves that 5th round, and, you know, the simplicity can give and it can take. And right now, it is a blessing for Lag as they find themselves at 5th, and they're getting these rounds easy and done with when it's all said and done.
Well, like we said, this matchup in terms of, you know, what we were looking at and the map and where it landed on the vetoes, this I still felt like this was 64. I don't know if you felt the same way, but Lag, you know, being them on the T side, I mean, theoretically in history, this is their weaker, you know, position. This is only a 40.7 win percentage on T side, so it's not like they're constantly unreal on this, but they're already putting themselves in 1 round away from securing the half bare minimum with the 6. And honestly, I feel like a lot of their executes have looked pretty good so far. It looks like they're making the right connections with the calls and the frags, and it seems like Party Astronauts are the ones that are running a little bit cool right now.
Yeah, they've got to dig deep and find firepower right now, because individually Lag have stepped up. Experative, OG have done well. Good trade there for Infinite. Does a little bit of team damage, but he was looking for that trade nonetheless. They're trying to set these USPs up for success in terms of the rifles as well. Wolfie now tasked with holding on to this A bomb site as well as middle. He's able to watch this cat cross when it does inevitably come in, but he doesn't actually fire off a bullet. He thinks that they're going to come back up con. meaning that Fang has to do a lot of legwork here on this B bomb site. He finds himself one and some change, nearly finds another, make that a double, and finally Weasel will fall, but the dink is through. It's all inevitable for him to drop to dirt, and he absolutely will. PA using those 3 rifles to absolute success, making sure that these USPs will provide enough trade potential. They look really clean there to get themselves that 4th round.
Yeah, what an impressive showing from Fang, right? I mean, the fact, I think, what was that last kill? He had like 4 bolts in the chamber and he was able to get that last kill. Those are such a feel-good one. But honestly, with that round, how it went, I mean, I think for Leg, calling this time out probably a good sign. Just again, they're not going to have the money, right? They're not really getting the bomb plant in. They're not getting that extra little bit of dollars. So it's not really going to be about this round necessarily, unless they force up, which I feel like would be the worst call in the world. But I think it's going to be important for round 11, and now they're starting to figure out little tendencies of what PA are doing. But this, I feel like, is classic Party Astronauts, though, right? These slow starts, then they start to make the comeback, you know, into a full effect, and now we're starting to see them really cook up something nice.
Yeah, that's when they get really dangerous. That's when you start to worry if you're the underdog. Lag take a much more conservative approach to round number 10. Pistols across the board, a couple of smokes to try and get them onto the site proper. Lovely little neutral set there from Experative. 1 smoke for stairs, 1 smoke for jungle. And they'll try to bound their way out. Infinite and Wolfie to take that first contact. Infinite doesn't find anything. Neither does Wolfie. Missed shots across the board. And now Wolfie's going to get pressured. He picks up a rifle, Nick. And maybe, just maybe, in this 3v3, there's some legs to this for the T side.
Yeah, and even 60's like far away too, so this rotate is coming in really, really slow. It's a little bit awkward. I'm not really sure what the hesitation on. Now Nick able to find this kill against 60. These CTs, they're losing their options, and Fang has 1 HP. I mean, he's able to still get this kill. If he can be able to find this one too, I mean, this is just going to open up everything. Oh, dear God, he's going to be able to. OG Wizard now running and gunning with the Tech 9. He's going to be able to manipulate the smoke. Fang, 1 shot of anything, and he's a dead man. No defuse attempts, and oh, there it is. An OG Wizard. He's going to buy them the time, and they have secured their 6th round.
Yeah, sure, he goes down, but the damage is already done. What a round there from OG Wizard to not only take out that bench player, but stay cool in the 1v1. Not swing for the fences instantaneously. Get worried that Fang is sticking the bomb. And Lag, an unlikely 6th round, but they punish a couple of mistakes there from both Infinite and Wolfie. Not able to connect anything on the actual hit. They don't really have support to bolster it. And now look at this. Round number 11. It's another hampered by UMP on Fang. A 5-7 for Ben Leet. They're going to have to try and make do with this sort of a expenditure. Aggression down main to try to get themselves a little bit of information. But it's mid-control, the operative word for Lag. Wolfie with another missed shot. On the fallback, finds a leg. Cannot find the connection that will give him a kill. Now, Weeza gets himself out of connector, leaves Fang on an island. And that means that Lag are teed up for a 7th now that they're able to get this bomb down.
They just ran past each other. These guys just ran past each other in jungle too, so oh dear goodness, this is not looking good. But now the CTs, they've been able to just flip this thing all over again now. So it's just down to OG Wizard. All of a sudden, I was thinking this is going to be a terrible round for them just because, but it falls apart. I can't believe that just happened the way it did, and this Party Astronauts to come, you know, out of nowhere when rabbit out of the hat, they find themselves the 5th round, and we're in the last round of this first half, and honestly, it felt like Lag had that one pretty much secured. I love that idea from Party Astronauts in the main push, but I thought it was a little too late.
Yeah, I thought that was a done deal, to say the least. Truly unfortunate that Lag aren't able to convert that. And that is the difference between, you know, a top caliber ECL roster and one that still has some work to do. Closing out man advantage situations, closing out situations where you have the bomb site and you're trying to play a post plant. But that all comes with experience, that comes with time. And they're still learning as a unit. Fang, aggressive down top mid, will only find the one onto Experative, and what a shot there on the second from Weeza. Wolfie now up to bat, the repeak a tad bit unnecessary, and Weeza punishes him with a triple kill in the round. Infinite now the only player on this A site, trying to hold on for dear life. Nick swings for the fences, and he'll find one of his own. It's all up to the captain of Ben Leet. He'll nade connector, he'll jump into window, and Weeza should be able to hear this every day of the week. Flash confirms his position at this point, and slowly but surely, Ben Leet is getting triangulated, whether he knows it or not. 45 seconds left on the clock, and finally, Lag will get that bomb down.
Yeah, and again, he doesn't have much option to work with, and both these players waiting for him just in CT, so he's going to have the swing of his life. He has to be able to hit these shots. Not going to land it, not going to find it, and it's going to be Lag that have got themselves a 7-5 first half. We're going to take that break, and we'll see you in just a few. Okay, welcome back. We're ready to go, and Party Astronauts on a 5 rounds on the CT side. Now going to be switching things over, and Lag impressively were able to get themselves in a pretty decent lead here, Paladin. And honestly, I don't know if you feel the same way I do, but I'm a little bit surprised at that first half.
Yeah, I think they showed that sometimes just having a very straightforward game plan can get you results. It does help that players like Experative, players like Nick have showed that they have a little bit more to give. It was that rifle pack mentality that got the job done. Now you kind of hand the keys to OG Wizard and you say, now you're on the defense, just let loose and try to take us to the promised land. So, interesting half of Counter-Strike altogether, and it definitely felt as though PA were not completely logged on. I didn't see that same level of gusto in terms of their individual prowess just yet. But now that they switch over to the T side, I think this is where they do some of their best work within the space. They have this very ferocious style that can really overwhelm inexperienced teams.
Yeah, and you know, I think it's a good point that you know touched on, is the fact that, you know, I think for Party Astronauts, they just really weren't there. It felt like, you know, it was a bit behind. There was some kind of a delay, maybe a lag. No pun intended. Just kidding. But honestly, but I feel like it was Party Astronauts not really giving us where they're able to perform the highest, and that's kind of what it goes back to your point at the desk, where we said, look, this is a team that is so close to kind of breaking into our region really well. They're a top contender. They're kind of having these like waves of success and then these kind of like little downfalls. But now we're going to have to see if that's going to be different here on the second half. Now they'll be on the T side. This is, you know, aside for them, that they are a lot stronger on a map like Mirage. Like, this is a lot bigger of a moneymaker for them. So that's where I'm kind of putting a lot of expectation to see what they're going to be able to serve.
Yeah, definitely. Again, we spoke about the need for this team to showcase some consistency and to show that they are capable of being a top-level roster. But so far, it has not been there just yet. Still need a little bit more out of them. We do have a player on lag that has lost power. So this might be a little bit longer of a tech pause. Not exactly sure. And I do believe it's Weeza, but yeah, not great.
Yeah, never fun when you got these external issues and, you know, kind of these other problems. And I mean, we could talk about this all day, but it's always a little bit frustrating in the sense too for a team like Leg. I think it's one of their players, like you were talking about, is they're on the winning side right now. These guys had themselves a really good first half. Now they kind of have this bit of a blunder of a situation, and you know, that's the thing when you compete, is like you try not to let these things get to your head, but it definitely can, right? And now that momentum slows down. This is Party Astronauts, a little bit extra time for them to kind of figure out what they need to do differently. So it's kind of like, I feel like this is a big negative for Leg and more of a buff for Party Astronauts.
Yeah, it gives them a time to kind of rest and recoup. Of course, they can't necessarily talk in this kind of situation, so that's going to be a bit of an issue, but at the very least, they'll basically slow everything down. We do want to cut to a break real quick, because we do have potentially a little bit longer of an issue. But when we come back, we will have that second half of Mirage coming up for you.
Bye-bye. All right, welcome back. And, well, we were worried it was going to be a long break, but you know what? It's a short one, so we're ready to go. Second half of the first best of one. And it is going to be Party Astronauts on this T side to get things going. Looks like Lag have all their players ready for this, and looks like they also have themselves a very good setup here, Paladin, as they have a nice little bit of a stack.
Yeah, lovely stuff. But maybe, just maybe, this B play might not come through. Head spotted from Experative as he looks underneath the window. Fang boosted up to potentially catch a player off guard. And another 4 stack towards this B site. Fang will take that first contact, but eventually they're going to learn that this A bomb site is not guarded at all, and instead they fall straight into the grasps of Lag. They just pounce. Everything just flawless for them. And PA, I think they just jumped the gun a little bit too much after getting window control.
Yeah, I think so too. And I mean, that was a really good play from Lag, and kind of, you know, it's always a bit risky when you go for stacks like that, obviously, because you're kind of exposing the whole other side, or site, I should say. But, you know, really good read from them. It felt like they did a bit of homework on that. But yeah, I felt like as soon as Party Astronauts got some different control in middle, they were like, yeah, let's just go for it. And then it just kind of all fell apart. But no bomb plant, nothing, nada. It's going to be a full save, not a piece of utility, nothing spent. These guys are just doing a meat grinder round. They're just going to barrel into this B site, maybe, but actually, they're going to cause a little bit of a ruse. They're going to just distract it. They're trying to burn some utility from the CT side. And they do have the lurk of 60 in Palace. And it is going to be Infinite that gets taken out. And look at Weezer now. He's already getting aggressive. Finds himself another one. These guys are kind of falling apart one by one here. They do get rewarded with this MP9 and a smoke. 60's made his way in across, but now it's a matter of him staying alive. He is able to cross to CT, so this is a good position for him. He's still contesting. Paladin, he's still trying to fight, and he's only got a damn Glock. This guy doesn't have anything to work with. I don't know who he thinks he is.
He's 60. That's Danwoo right there. But unfortunately, he will finally fall. And, you know, Party Astronauts are thinking that maybe this B side is undermanned, but there are still 2 players here. The crossfire is still established, and Lag will find themselves a 9th round. They continue to inch closer, potentially finding that first map victory here in this series. And that would be fantastic for them in the grand scheme of things. And again, when you're a lesser team that's trying to make a name for themselves and get a playoff berth, splitting maps with the best teams, that's everything you could ask for. And I think at the very least, having that split on the back pocket with the potential of 2-0ing, I mean, you're loving life at that point if you're Lag.
Yeah, 1,000%. So if they're going to be able to find themselves a victory, this could be a huge day for the boys at Lag, and pop some champagne maybe later. But right now, they're going to be able to find Fang, so they're able to take down one of the leading fraggers on the team. Finally, something of a little bit of a reply from Infinite, and able to get the first duel, but it's the cost of two of his teammates to go down. Now the timing's starting to come back a little bit here for Party Astronauts. 3-3 once again. 6E gets himself into connector for free, so now they're just going to barrel into this. Experative trying everything he can to stay alive. Is he in the worst position? He's got multiple different angles that he has to worry about and go for the fight on the low ground. And all of a sudden, this thing is turned into a different event. Party Astronauts going to be having themselves their 6th round unless we see, you know, Nyx pull up the impossible with an MP9.
Not happening this time around. But PA, even in the 3v5, find a way to bounce back. Credit to Infinite, holding strong from the apartments, or the A Palace rather. And 60 with some serious impact alongside Wolfie's opening frag in middle. All coalescing into a 6th round here for PA. Lag will have to work a little bit harder to close this game out. And I've got to say, those are some of those rounds that you've got to close out and seal up. You're never going to get just 5v3s like that all too often against a roster like PA.
Yeah, and it kind of felt like, you know, with Lag getting those, you know, opening duels and things were looking good for them, I kind of felt like it just, I don't know if they got overextended, but it just felt like they kind of gave up their, you know, decent positions and then allowed Party Astronauts to kind of get these, you know, a little bit one-on-one engagements and finding these little bit of an openings, right? So, I mean, look, Party Astronauts are going to take that any day of the week. It's a good way for them to get themselves the first round in this half. It's going to be some aggression of nades that are going to be thrown into middle, but it is Party Astronauts that will still kind of press forward. No damage going to be exchanged to anybody as of yet. Another smoke in front of Connector to block things off. Lag putting a bit more attention. These three players clustered really, really close from window and Connector. And I don't mind this setup, but I don't love this play from OG Wizard. But now Nick's going to have to do something big to retaliate, to kind of get some revenge from his teammates. So much utility is just dispensed of in one spot alone on the map palette, and this is kind of crazy.
Yeah, both of them jostling for control, but PA come out on top considering they've been able to get up the catwalk. Nyx is in a very precarious situation, and 60 will punish him straight away. Weez has to swing for the fences as he's the only available rotator, and Wolfie will find two of his own. Experative, he should be off the save. PA start to gain steam now, and it feels as though that Lag's opportunity at finding a map victory is slipping right in front of them.
Yeah, I feel like we could have maybe cast or cursed that. I don't know. Still lots of action left, but I mean, look, like Party Astronauts now, since we were talking about it, 2 rounds in a row, things are looking a bit better and better every round now. They're starting to, play a lot better, and we're starting to see this is where, I mentioned that this is their stronger side. This is the dominant force that they reckon with here. So I mean, you're starting to see it, right? These guys are playing a lot better. Wolfie sitting himself at 15 kills. Even though 60's only 10 and 12, I feel like he's really found some critical impact kills that have really opened the round even more for Party Astronauts.
Yeah, that's the player you will always look towards, even if he is 3 and 12. If he is 30 and 12, you will find some level of impact to turn the tides of battle, and every roster he's been on has been a huge proponent of him being let off the leash. And of course, this is on the T side. This is where he does some of his best work. Very awkward bye here for Lag out in round number 17. One singular A1S that was saved over from Experative, and a couple of pistols to bolster it. OG Wizard will go charging down the main side to potentially punish Infinite. But he doesn't have the rifle to back him up, which is the unfortunate part of this. He's just going to go down with nothing. He isn't even able to fire off a bullet to the body of Infinite. Now, you don't really have that trade potential. PA can kind of do whatever they want. His Experative is just kind of caught between two minds, trying to catch the ghost of Infinite on main and maybe think about rotating as well.
Yeah, and you make a good point about the trades. It would have been really nice to see for Lag to go for that attempt. I know Experative is the only player with the rifle, but if they would have been able to find that against Infinite, the timing could have been there. But I mean, that could have been an opportunity for picking up a gun. But yeah, say Levy, it's not going to be the case. Party Astronauts now regrouping, going back through T spawn. They're going to go for the A. So a bit of a misread in the sense of, there's going to be 3 players that are close on by to this. And only 36 seconds remaining here, so they got to get moving now. Experative playing an aggressive angle, and he's able to find these 2. So now it's maybe enough to get something, but now it's just pistols.
Wow.
And I can't even believe he's actually able to get the spam too. Okay. My God.
You don't really expect Infinite to hit that spam straight away. They don't have time to deal with balcony. And now it leaves it all onto Nick to maybe find something on the way out. Nyx also will fall. PA cut the lead down to 1. And, by the skin of their teeth there, able to get it over the line. Credits Experative for showing a little bit of gumption there on the ramp, though.
Yeah, I mean, that was a risky position I felt like for Experative to be in, right? I mean, he was in a pretty... I kind of call it like a one and done because it's like it's really hard to find that double, but he made it happen. But, I mean, he was that only guy with like the strongest weapon. So I mean, he was able to get 2. If he was able to find 3 somehow in that kind of a position, that really could have turned things around. Aggressive play coming in from Wolfie. It's an immediate trade back. These CTs, they're just going to hold W. They forgot, you don't have to push on this round, and they're on the CT side, but they're going to try to do something a little bit different, and it backfires. And now giving Party Astronauts a huge opening opportunity right now to bring this game back into the tie. Only utility remaining here for Nyx. So for Party Astronauts, the world is their oyster.
Very weird decision there from Lag. All that aggression can work, but there's got to be a little bit of method to madness, folks. It cannot be that willy-nilly. Nick's now thrust a very difficult spot. Isn't even able to confirm the first on Infinite. Whatever excitement that we spoke about after that first half and the conversion in the second has been dashed. 9-9. PA now feels like they're in the driver's seat. This is, again, where they do their best work, and you can see that being able to fight within all the chaos is their bread and butter. It's what makes PA an exciting roster.
It really is. It really, really is. And that's where we were saying, like, you know, they can be a bit of a slower team at times, but they really are this top contender in the NA region, and they're starting to show it now. Through thick and thin, they're able to bring things right back into the tie game, and that first half was the 7-5 in favor for Leg. But now with this bit of a fun purchase, even a CZ for OG Wizard, love to see it. But it is going to be the 4-1. 4 players this B. Experitive kind of hanging out by himself, just jumping around by ticket. Party Astronauts getting so much real estate right now. They're going to be able to just pounce onto this as soon as he's done. I mean, this is going to be the opening. And there it is. I mean, this is going to be a free site. And now, I mean, the question is, honestly, Paladin, for you, like, do we see this retake? Do we just see maybe the exits, just try to get some guns? Or do they really pull a Hail Mary?
It's exits. That's got to be it. But they're still holed up on the B bomb site. Not encroaching at all. And I'd like Weezer to maybe take a more wider stance. Find a pick off and connector, fall back. They can claim an extra weapon, it'd be fantastic. But also very reserved on the PA end as well. They know that these kills aren't most necessary for them. They've got a bank, they've got plenty of weapons. And now they'll start to swing for defenses Lag. Try to go straight at Fang. But he'll pass his test, as does Sixy. And it's just Nyx left up in this. Trying to find a straggling T. Nothing to be found, as Fang will take him down at the tail end of that one. So lead now claimed by Party Astronauts. One of the last purchases now for Lag. And I feel as though this is the first AWP we've been able to see from OG Wizard to see if it can lay claim to this map so far.
Well, and that's what and that's the thing we talked so much about is, like, look, like, this is a guy that's been, you know, kind of giving a good showcase of what he's able to do with the op, but it's been pretty much underperforming on this, right? We haven't really been able to see him kind of have the big green in his hands. So now this is kind of again, I talked about a Hail Mary. This might be it. This might be something to finally get themselves a little bit more ignited, to get something moving. They haven't been able to find more than 2 rounds in the second half, so he doesn't have to go against the op of Wolfie. A good molly placed and actually spam right through from Weeza, so that was a perfectly placed little bit of spam work from him. But now, is Nyx going to be able to expect this? Some players are getting close.
Wow.
Look at how fast they take this execute. They just barrel on in. OG Wizard gets a kill. But I think it's a little too late. I mean, this is, unless he's able to find something here, it is a 2-on-3. But he's going to have to find a kill quickly. And Party Astronauts, they got to make sure they don't overextend.
Yeah, they're totally fine on the site. Fang does enough in middle. But it's those flashes from Wolfie that are so fantastic. Gets them out of the apartment. It allows for Ben Lee to chime in. Wonderful work there from the Party Astronauts, even in a man deficit. Now Fang's on the hunt. He's not going to clear out main. Experida will hold on to his rifle. And OG Wizard should be able to as well. But Lag have not been able to find that level that we were expecting from them here on the defense. And now they've kind of met their maker in the form of Party Astronauts, as they have just steamrolled through this T side. This is it. This is for all the marbles at this point. And that idea of potentially splitting maps or winning a series 2-0 is quickly dwindling here, Laz.
Yeah, it really is. This is, you know, this is, like you said, this is it. This is the round that, you know, if Leg are going to be able to bring anything back, it's got to be this one, right? Everything's spent. They have the M4s with that op going to be saved. So this is a critical point, the make it or break it, as we like to call it. So Party Astronauts, actually surprisingly for a round like this in round 21, They're grouped up essentially on the outskirts of A here, looking like they might just go for a late round execute. The old A exec. Some nades are going to be thrown here. I believe that was from Fang, so he's going to regroup with the comrades. Execute now going to be thrown. They're just going to dump all this utility into this site. Now they're just going to swing for it. A massive swing from Weeza, but the cost of his life, he's not able to find anything at all on this. So party astronauts have gained themselves this site. Now it's going to be the question of them holding on to the post plant. They haven't really been tested too much on it. And now the CT split 2 and 2. Leaving with utility, lackluster here. This is all about firepower. Ben looking to see if he's going to be able to get himself some kills, and indeed he will. He's definitely an elite player, and now Experative by himself, trying everything possible. Can't seem to jump on the box. It's too difficult and too hard, and now we got Party Astronauts on the map in Series Point.
Wow. Wow. Great execution there from PA. Every smoke you could ask for. The Molotovs under Balk and into Sandwich. Flushes out Weeza, the only real player in front of that utility. And as soon as he gets nothing, you're thinking, okay, this should be the round that PA is able to confirm. And Ben Lee is the one that takes it by storm. Doesn't let OG Wizard get comfortable. Basically, it moves him out of that jungle position, forces him to fight, and he fails straight away. Dixie looking to get antsy, and he flicks over to Experative's head. Fang finds one. Infinite on the trade. 4v2 to ensue. OG Wizard caught between a rock and a hard place. Wolfie misses his shot. It's a back and forth between both of these oppers. And OG Wizard comes out on top. PA don't want anything to do with this, so they're just going to gun it into that B bomb site and be the right one to select. Oh, I say that.
Oh, no.
Going to move back into underpass. They're thinking Nyx is still anchoring that part of the map, but right now, Lag have made the right decision to group together. It's going to be a car crash in middle and a matter of time as Infinite finds one and Ben Lee will find the other. 13-9 reach the scoreline. Lag are not able to find any sort of an attack, or rather defense, in that second half, and PA just run away with this one.
Yeah, and honestly, that last round was, like you said, it was all about timings, right? I mean, it looked like they had the right read to go B, but I do like that call. Like, I don't know if it was from Ben or somebody else being like, you know what, Nick